Welcome to Just Relationships, the show that offers you concrete ways to make your relationships better. Whether it's your boss, your spouse, your children, or your friends, the quality of your relationships in life directly affects how you feel about yourself and the success you achieve. Your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer, a psychotherapist, telecoach, author, and seminar leader, will interview top experts to help you learn to manage this essential part of your life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Duffy Spencer.
Greetings to you. We live in very uncertain times, and we look at it's even more uncertain now than it's ever been, although uncertainty is part of the human condition. Many people can barely tolerate uncertainty, and in our age of uncertainty, it is a paramount skill to learn how to deal with it. You are in for a treat because I am interviewing Dennis Merritt Jones, who is the author of The Art of Uncertainty, How to Live in the Mystery of Life and Love It. Welcome, Dennis.
Hi, Dr. Duffy. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, do you agree with how I introduced the show?
Oh, yeah. Learning how to live in the mystery of uncertainty is paramount in everybody's mind, and we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to do it. Life is a mystery, whether you like it or not.
Right. I like the way you put it. It has a very different spin when you say mystery rather than uncertainty. Yeah,
well, a mystery is that which is yet to be understood, or it'll take us someplace. Uncertainty is a term I think that a lot of people can more fully relate with. But if you think about a mystery, it can be a storyline that you know that there's an ending in sight. You just don't know what it is.
Right.
Where with uncertainty, there's just a ton of fear wrapped around all of it.
Oh, I think it's brilliant. I think it is a brilliant reframe starting right off the bat, Dennis. Good. And I can tell you that I personally am getting something from it. So even if that's the end of the show, I'm happy. I mean, that's how significant this is to me. A storyline that there's an ending, and then there's probably another chapter and another beginning, and then another ending, right?
Yep, you betcha.
Yes.
The key to understanding is that, life is a mystery whether we like it or not. If you think about it, the ultimate mystery, we came from the ethers of who knows where we came from, right?
Yes.
And we land here in these bodies for a certain length of time, and when we're complete here, we eject that essence of air and goes back into the mystery that nobody knows where that is or what it's like. But
right.
The fact is that life itself, between the coming and the going, the life, the journey that we're here is no less a mystery. And it affects every area of our life. There's not one area of our life where uncertainty does not affect how we operate our lives. In our relationships, as you're a professional at that, you know what I'm talking about there. In our careers, in our wellness and how we conduct ourselves in our everyday lives, every area of our life has a huge amount of uncertainty about it, and we're fooling ourselves if we think that we know what's going to unfold in the next minute.
Right.
We'd like to have control over that. A lot of people love to think that they have control over what's going to unfold in the next minute, but nobody knows that.
Yes.
So the question is, how do you make peace with uncertainty? That's really the question.
That's right, because it's not going away, and there are some people who are so risk-averse, and they really want guarantees for everything before they take a step forward. And it's quite amazing because that's the definition of stuckness, right?
It sure is.
Yes.
There's a universal imperative that says grow or die. If you don't move, if you don't grow, living things that don't grow begin to die.
Right.
And that includes us. Our relationships are living, breathing things. Our careers are living, breathing things. Our family life is a living, breathing thing. Everything that where our life connects to the human condition is a living, breathing thing. And if it doesn't grow, if it doesn't evolve, if it doesn't change, it begins to wither up and die.
Right, so true. And the brain loves novelty and newness, really, really.
Yep.
And again, so many people live their lives so rotely as their attempt to feel safe and secure.
Yeah, and you know what, Dr. Duffy, we're taught that at a very young age. We enter the human condition as children, and we're very curious. We're open-minded, we're inquisitive. But watch what happens, how quickly we're taught not to venture outside the lines, to color outside the lines, that it's safe to stay within this rut, stay within and in that rut we learn we forget who we came here to be, actually. And, a rut is nothing but a grave with no ends on it. I mean, that's how many people live their entire lives, in that rut of sameness, because they're afraid to step out of it.
A rut is...
Because they've been taught to not step out of it.
Wow. A rut is a grave with no ends on it, you say?
It's kind of crude, but it's true.
With no ends on it. Yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And children are taught to live in that rut of sameness, to not venture outside, to explore, to look at any toddler, 2 or 3 years old. They're all over the place until they're taught not to.
Right. In the exploration stage, so many children are not allowed to explore.
No, and that squashes that curiosity and that desire to grow and explore, and we end up living shallow, contracted lives fearfully. And that's a huge, I think it's endemic in the human condition. And so the book is really about teaching people how to come to the edge of uncertainty and lean over and trusting and knowing that there is something within them that can carry them to what's next if they connect with it and trust it.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking of something Victor Hugo wrote, that if there are two birds, I'm paraphrasing, not great, but if there are two birds on a branch, they're very secure because they know that if that branch breaks, they can fly.
There you go. I use it in the book. I tell a story about birds, watching birds grow from babies in a nest in my backyard, and watching them the day that they took flight for the very first time. And it was an amazing thing to watch these little guys come to the edge of the ledge where the nest was perched and lean over for the first time, and they flapped their wings wildly. I think intentionally, so they threw themselves off balance and they fell into the call of gravity. And, of course, they flapped their wings and flew.
Right.
Why?
Yes.
I didn't see the mother bird there sitting there telling them, okay, honey, lean over, flap your wings, and you're going to fly. Everything will be fine,
Right, right.
It just, there's something within the bird that knows how to be a bird.
Yes, yes.
There's an intelligence within the bird that knows how to fly.
Right.
And my thought is if the Creator would imbue a bird with that knowledge, how to survive and how to thrive, wouldn't we also be imbued with that same wisdom in a human way that teaches us how to thrive and literally soar into life and with faith and confidence?
I so agree. Dennis Merritt Jones. And this is Dr. Duffy Spencer. We are Just Relationships, 90.3 WHPC. And Dennis Merritt, well, that's 2 T's, Jones has written a book called The Art of Uncertainty, How to Live in the Mystery of Life and Love It. And by the way, Dennis, I imagine your book is available everywhere?
Oh, yeah. You can get it on Amazon. It's in audio as well as Kindle and soft paperback and most major bookstores, too.
Excellent. I can highly recommend this book. I can tell everyone it's a very, very important topic that is not written as much about as needs to be. And this book is really capturing the essence. And I just want to read to people your chapter headings just to give them an idea. So coming to the edge of uncertainty is 1, pushed by pain or pulled by possibilities. 2, the anatomy of fear, dancing with your demons. 3, like it or not, this too shall pass. the good news and the other news. 4, the wisdom of knowing what and when to let go. Timing is everything. 5, plumbing the depths of your pure potential. The deeper you go, the more you'll know. Failure is not an option. The yes factor never sleeps. 7, handle your habit energy consciously. Habit energy, rising from the rut. 8, are you committed or just interested? The power of the 3 Ps. 9, patience is far more than a virtue. By the inch, life is a cinch. 10, setting the altitude of your attitude. What type of mystic are you? 11, abundance is the gift already given. How big is your bucket? And I should let everyone know right now that next week I'm interviewing you. We're having a part 2 of Dennis Merritt Jones, because your book more recently written is The Art of Abundance, 10 Rules for a Prosperous Life. So we're looking at dealing with uncertainty beautifully and being abundant in life. Okay. And 11, abundance is the gift already given. I may have said that. How big is your bucket? 12, how conscious are your choices? It's choice, not chance, that determines your destiny. 13, pay attention to your intention. Your vision is your compass to a life worth living. And finally, 14, remembering to remember who we are, where we are, and why we are. Mindfulness makes the mystery meaningful. Beautifully, it's so poetic, that your alliterations, your way of writing. So
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's so much to say here, Dennis. You choose what seems to be most relevant to people that you feel in this moment.
Okay. Well, I think that the 3, we could boil down the questions. There's 3 questions that your listeners can ask themselves that'll help them come to the edge of their own uncertainties and learn how to lean over a little bit with a trust and a faith that there's something within them that knows how to fly, metaphorically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question that we can ask ourselves when uncertainty pops up in our life is to ask ourselves this question: what role does fear play in keeping me stuck where I am?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we've got to understand there's nothing wrong with fear. I mean, thank God for fear, because most of us would not have lived to adulthood without the little fear working in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we dragged a lot of fears into adulthood that needed to be left in childhood. The boundaries of what to fear and what not to fear became blurred. And if you think about a baby who's really, I'm sure you know this, is only born with several fears. One is the fear of falling, the other is loud noises.
Mm-hmm.
Every other fear is acquired, including the fear of darkness. Mm-hmm. And nothing scares us more than what we can't see. And when something pops up in our minds that we can't see physically, our minds rush ahead to explore what the fear is, and then reports back to us as reasons why we shouldn't move forward.
Right. And we move into fight or flight so quickly, and as if everything is the saber-toothed tiger, and everything is live or die, and it's just not that way. No.
There's a great acronym for fear that I'm sure most people know, false evidence appearing real. There's another one that I like to use in my keynote talks, and that's forget everything and run. Which is what a lot of people do. When scary stuff pops up, either in front of us physically or emotionally, we turn on our heels and we run. And metaphorically, we run to the medicine cabinet, the liquor cabinet, the refrigerator, the shopping mall. There's a number of ways that we work at avoiding dealing with the fears that are popping up in front of us that demand our attention.
Right.
And I love the metaphor. We can get on a barge and go down the river of denial, but when we return, that fear is like right there on the dock, waiting